Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Arcmoon channel. So usually I only make anime videos and analysis, and they're usually scripted, but I wanted to try something a bit different today. I'm going to be doing a Marvel movie tier list. So I'm just going to be going through all of these Marvel movies, ranking them on this scale I came up with, and yeah, I guess we'll just take it from there. Unlike my other videos, this one is more freeform and isn't really scripted, so pardon any pauses or anything out of the ordinary. Okay, so I guess we could just jump into it, right? So I don't think this one is actually out yet. So let me just make a. I'm just gonna name this not out. Based off of the trailer, it does look pretty interesting. I mean, there's the whole white suit Black Widow in the snowy area. We're gonna get some of her past as well from her I guess her spy days. So it should be interesting, but I don't really know what to expect right now. Yeah, I think it's coming out this year, 2021. So yeah, I'll just put that in not out. So I guess okay. So next, we'll just start from the beginning, I guess. So this one looks like the first Ant-Man movie. I thought it was actually pretty decent. For now, I'm gonna put it in B. Just to get a reference point. I might move it around after, just to see what I put in the same tier. But I thought it was decent. I know it's pretty underrated. A lot of people didn't like it. I find Scott Lang kind of charming. He's kind of funny. Marvel generally writes that way now. But yeah, sort of basic B tier is decent. This one is okay. So this is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought it was a bit weaker than the original Ant-Man movie. I just thought it was executed weaker. I don't remember it too well. I thought the first one was a lot more memorable. But that's just me. The villain was kind of cool. The weird erratic phasing and stuff. Whereas the villain in the first movie wasn't as strong. But I'm gonna put it a tier below because I thought it was definitely worse than the first movie. Yeah, this is generally just based off of how much I enjoyed it too. So the criteria isn't really objective or anything too deep. It just how much I liked it. And obviously this is subject to change too. I might rewatch some of these movies and like it a lot more or less. But it's really just how I'm feeling right now. Okay, so this looks like the first Avengers movie. I feel like this has to go in A+. It started off the whole trend of group superhero movies. Kicked off, although it wasn't the first MCU movie, it was the first like big team up. We got Loki as a villain. It's quite interesting. Got to see a lot of the dynamics between the heroes. Like I love seeing Tony Stark talk to the rest of the team, like Steve Rogers. And that little Hulk versus Thor spat in this movie sort of foreshadows some stuff in Ragnarok. So yeah, I think A+ for now. I think that makes sense. Okay, this is Endgame. Yeah, this is Endgame. This has to go in S. It was incredible. There's such a payoff after the 20 movies that preceded it, and it was just a good movie. I know the last battle scene was a little messy, but I did like it. I think the Tony Stark sacrifice at the end was incredibly well done, and it was definitely sad to see him go. Let's see. Okay, what do we have next? Is this Infinity War? I think Infinity War probably goes within the same tier as Endgame. Yeah, I think it would go next to it. I do prefer Endgame to it, which I think is an unpopular opinion. I'm not too sure, but from the people I've talked to, I think Infinity War is generally preferred, but I preferred Endgame. I did like the time travel, but Infinity War was great. There were some really sad moments when everyone was blipped out of existence by Thanos. Like obviously the Peter Parker moment. Then you have some pretty annoying scenes, like when Peter Quill punched Thanos and pretty much lost it for everyone. But it's a great movie. We see Thor forge a new weapon, Stormbreaker. We get a lot of interesting scenes, a lot of cool interactions, just like most of the team up movies. But I really liked the Tony Stark and Doctor Strange interactions in the beginning. I thought they were hilarious. Both of them being rather headstrong, intelligent, stubborn, and seeing them interact. Tony being more of a man of science, and Doctor Strange being a doctor and a sorcerer. I guess the Sorcerer Supreme. So yeah, okay. Let's move on. So I think the next one is Black Panther. This is a really good movie. I'm not sure if I'm going A plus or A. I think it's A for now. I really liked it. Wakanda is such a cool setting. Um, Incredible technology, very futuristic, but also has its own distinct culture. And I think Killmonger was one of my favorite MCU villains in general. I think Michael B. Jordan did an incredible job with Killmonger. I definitely liked it. A lot of these characters are very, very likable. Shuri, I think Shuri, the sister, the scientist, is pretty cool. The movie's very good. Obviously, had a very big cultural significance, uh, and Chadwick Boseman's passing sort of saddened everyone. I mean, it's definitely an iconic role. So I think that's yeah. I think A for now. I might bump it up, but I'm not sure. Okay, okay. Civil War. Civil War is really good. Civil War is really good. I have to put it in S tier. I think S or no 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 no. No, I'll space. I think maybe top of A plus, top of A plus because the tension between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers is really well done. Obviously, they have the conflict surrounding Bucky and Tony's parents, and Steve Rogers obviously siding with his old friend Bucky. You have really interesting team ups as well. We introduce other characters into the mix, like Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther as well. They were all introduced here. Yeah, it's a really interesting character arc, obviously, and it sets up the later movies pretty well. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, this is Captain America. This is the original Captain America. So I'm not a huge fan. Obviously, the movie is well done, but it's definitely not my favorite. I think I'm gonna put it on the top of B. I liked the dynamic between Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers. I thought his sacrifice at the end was good. It was a good movie, but I think B tier. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, I think this is the Winter Soldier. Yeah, this is really good. This is definitely A plus. We have a lot of interesting stuff. Captain America's past is brought up, sort of pushed into modern times, with the return of his friend Bucky Barnes, who we talked about before, the Winter Soldier. You get some really cool moments between the two. I think it's really good. Obviously, it seems that I'm partial to the movies with a lot of different heroes in it, so far at least. So yeah, I think it belongs in A plus. Okay, so the next one is Captain Marvel. So I'm not sure whether to put it in C or D. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's definitely not as bad as a lot of people made it out to be. A lot of people put it as one of the worst, which I think is not true. The worst will come later. You'll see. It's definitely not as terrible as people make it out to be. However, I do think it was pretty bad. I think she's not the most likable character. There were some cool moments. I liked Maria Rambeau's addition to it, and obviously we see her daughter in WandaVision. But it wasn't the best. I liked the whole suit change thing. That was a little fun moment. But there were some things that bothered me about the movie, like how It would have been nice if her character arc brought her to become more skilled and intelligent. Where at the end she had the opportunity to battle her, I guess, former. I don't know if it was her teammate or I don't know that guy who challenged her to a battle, and instead she sort of cheated to win when she didn't have to. I just there were a few things that bothered me. I'm gonna put it in D for now. Although it's definitely not the worst Marvel movie. It's not horrendous. It was like sort of entertaining, but it wasn't good. Okay, so next we have WandaVision, and let's see, where's Wanda? It's going here, and this tier is gonna be called WandaVision because it's the best. I really love the setup. I know a lot of people were sort of confused by the first few episodes and didn't give it a chance, but I really liked it. There was so much intrigue, and although the mystery starts to fade after episode 4, when everything becomes rather predictable, I really like the exploration into Wanda's character, her psyche. Um, I liked when talking to White Vision, brings up this philosophical question about what constitutes like the original object. He brings up this philosophical thought experiment, which I might actually talk about in another video. That might be interesting. But I really like WandaVision, and I think it's going to set up Doctor Strange 2 and MCU Phase 4 in a really cool way. I'm also really fascinated by magic, the Scarlet Witch's powers, her reality warping. It was just ominous and different. It was really different. So as of right now, WandaVision is my favorite Marvel sort of MCU. I guess it's a TV show, so it's not a movie, but addition. Okay, and I'm probably also going to make a video on it because I really, really liked it. Okay, so the next thing we have is Doctor Strange. Now, I love Doctor Strange, and some people might have a problem with me putting it this high. Yeah, it's going an S, and it's also going above Infinity War. I obviously am partial to magic. I love WandaVision. I love Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Although it wasn't the most complex, it starts to introduce some of the more not cosmic, well, I guess cosmic and magical beings like Dormammu, who resides in his own dimension. He's really, really cool. We get to see some really interesting, trippy scenes, like when the Ancient One pushes Strange out of his body, and he experiences this acid trip-like thing where he... Oh, I don't even know how to describe it, but it just broadens the scope of the Marvel Universe so much for me. And I think it's really interesting. Okay, so I think this is the first... Yeah, Groot's an adult here. Yeah. Okay, this is the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think. Okay, fine. If I'm wrong about this, sorry, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to treat this as if it's the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm putting this in A, below Black Panther, though. I really like this movie. It's fun. Peter Quill's very funny. We get there's a Rocket who's sort of quippy as well. Drax is hilarious. I love Drax. He's probably my favorite character in Guardians. The soundtrack is incredible. I love the soundtrack. It's just very good. Very well put together. It's very fun, too. The movie has sort of a lighthearted vibe to it, even when they're fighting Ronan at the end of the movie for the Power Stone. There's obviously the dancing scene where he's distracting him, and it's just very, very funny. It's a very entertaining movie. Ronan is a pretty bad villain, though. He's kind of useless. I don't really like him very much. Obviously, he's nothing compared to other villains like Killmonger, Thanos. He's not even close, obviously. But I did enjoy the movie. It's a very good movie. So the next movie is, I think this is the second Guardians of the Galaxy film. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And it's sort of the same, honestly. I might just put it, like, I think it's a little worse, so I'm going to put it behind it. Or below it, rather. But it's a fun movie. The soundtrack, once again, is really good. We get some cool scenes. We find out about Peter Quill's backstory, about his parents. His dad's a jerk. Ego the Planet. I'm definitely happy they introduced Ego the Living Planet because he's a really cool character in the comics. But but I did happen to prefer the first one better. I thought it was a bit more enjoyable, but they're pretty much the same. So yeah, it's also an A tier. I don't know do I want to shift anything yet? I think right now I'm good. Yeah, I'm happy with this right now. So this is I think this is Iron Man 2. Let's start with Iron Man 1 actually. This is Iron Man 1. Iron Man 1 is very good. I'm putting it at the top of A tier. It kicked off the MCU. Tony Stark's a really great character. He's funny, he's entertaining. And you sort of see him grow here. We have obviously he's he's pretty much an arms dealer with Stark Industries. And he gets into some trouble getting kidnapped by terrorists. And we see him build a suit. And he sort of has this change where now he's more concerned with um, the ethical concerns with his company and who he should sell to, what he should make. And he has this dispute with one of the, I think it's another executive at the company. And it's a good movie. It's very nostalgic for me. It started off all of this, so. And of course, that's not really grounds for it being the best, but like I said, this is more of an opinion-based thing than objective. So I would definitely put it at the top of A tier. It's a good movie. Now, okay, now this is Iron Man 2, with that dude with a whip or whatever. This one I think is worse than the first one. It's not horrendous. I think I'm going to put in the top of B tier. You know what? I'm actually going to put Ant-Man above Captain America because I'm not the biggest fan of it. And I'm going to put Iron Man 2 in the top of B tier. It's a good movie. It's okay. It's not the best. I don't really have too much to say on it. But the third one, Iron Man 3, I very much like. So I'm actually going to put Iron Man 3 in the bottom of A tier. I think it's a good movie. We get to see all those awesome suits at the end in that final fight. It's just really fun. The villain was pretty good, although I don't remember too much. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But the Iron Man trilogy, I think, is generally good. They're good movies. And although I think Marvel definitely picked up much later in the production of the movies, I think these three are very solid still. So yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, now we have. Which one is Spider-Man Homecoming? I think. Oh, should be the second one, right? Sorry, no, I know it's the first one, but the second in this row. I think this is Homecoming, so I'm going to treat this as if it's Homecoming. I really like this movie. I really like this movie. I think I'm going to put it here. No. It's going at the top of A tier. I know, I'm probably overhyping it. I quite like it. I think Tom Holland's great as Peter Parker. It's pretty refreshing. And different compared to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's renditions of it. Or portrayals. It's a good movie, I think. The villain was sort of interesting. I just sort of like to see Peter's day-to-day life, his relationship with his friends, Ned, you have like MJ, and was her name Liz? The love interest in this movie was Liz, I think. And I also thought the whole thing with Tony Stark, whether he's ready to be doing this or not, was quite powerful. Should he be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, or should he go on to bigger, badder things? And he sort of has to wrestle with that problem. And when Tony takes the suit away, we get this really cool heroic moment when he brings out his old, tattered suit, which doesn't really have any technology in it whatsoever, and he proceeds as a hero anyway. I quite like it. I think it's a good movie. So a top of A tier for me. Now the second one, Spider-Man Far From Home, I think was definitely worse. I think it was definitely worse, and I'm gonna put it in B tier, above Captain America and Ant-Man, but below Iron Man 2. Actually, no, I'll put it above Iron Man 2 also. It's the top of B tier. I just was a lot less interested. I think it was sort of interesting with Mysterio and his introduction and how we get this whole thing. How does Peter deal with the death of Tony Stark after Endgame? how he has to mature as a hero, and how he has to sort of balance his life between doing things for himself and being Spider-Man. So it has a lot of good in it. So B is still good. I still enjoy B tier. I'd put it there. Okay. What is this one? Is this? Did I mix this up? Is this Age of no? Okay. I'm sorry. I think I mixed this up. I think this is actually the original Avengers movie. I'm gonna put that there. This one oh wait, I'm sorry. One of these is Age of Ultron. I don't remember which poster is which. I think this one actually is. So sorry. Everything I said about the original Avengers movie is still an A plus. Age of Ultron will also be an A plus, and it's gonna be right next to it anyway. Coincidentally, actually. I really like it. Obviously, I'm a Wanda fan. We get introduced to Wanda and her brother Quicksilver as well, who unfortunately died at the end of that movie. But it's really great. We get, I think Vision's introduced here, and we also get Ultron, who's awesome. This is the whole sort of catastrophic dystopian scenario where AI becomes too powerful and takes out or tries to eradicate humans that it considers parasites on the Earth. So interesting philosophy there. Sort of cool instantiation. We also get uh, foreshadowing to Ragnarok. A lot of the fears of the Avengers. So we obviously Wanda is able to access the fears of Thor and Iron Man. Of course, we get some really cool personal scenes that gives us more insight into their minds. Yeah, so sorry if these are mixed up. I'm not sure, but I would put them here anyway. I would put Age of Ultron above the first one. So if I'm right that this poster is Age of Ultron, then it's here. Okay, so this was the Hulk movie. It's not. It's. I guess it is part of the MCU. There's some crossover, but wasn't very good. I'm gonna put it in D tier, even below Captain Marvel. I don't think it's very good. Yeah, pretty weak actually. Okay, so maybe we didn't even need a C tier. I'm not even sure. Maybe I'll consolidate this at the end a little bit, make it a little neater. This is the first Thor movie. I'm not a huge fan of this movie. It's okay. Obviously, we get some stuff with Thor being worthy. I think I'm gonna put it in C. Uh, yeah, I'll put it in the bottom of C. It's not. I don't think it's very good. We do get some cool ideas with Thor not being worthy. He's stripped of his powers, and how he has to sort of be heroic despite that. He has to learn, sort of gain back his worthiness, and it's a nice lesson from his father Odin. So, but I think it's a pretty weak movie. The villain doesn't really interest me. I'm just not interested in this movie. But of course, we do get the God Heimdall, who's incredibly cool, Idris Elba. Anyways, let's do Thor: The Dark World next. Thor: The Dark World is the worst movie in MCU, in my opinion. I think the Dark Elves are horrible. What is his name? Malekith. Very boring. Horrible movie. I just didn't like anything about it. Didn't like Thor's character. I don't really like Natalie Portman's character in this movie either. It's just not good. I don't like it. I know they introduced the ether here, and which is the one of the Infinity Stones, but it's not great. Okay, I think the last movie we have here, or last thing we have here, is Thor Ragnarok. Now I love Thor Ragnarok. I think it's really good, and I would put it. I say top of A tier. No. Bottom of A plus. It's going the bottom of A plus. It's a really good movie. They decided to take a change in character direction with Thor. He's now funny. And from some interviews, I think they allowed Chris Hemsworth to put more of himself in the character, make him a bit more charismatic. I think the short hair also suits him better. Obviously, he's cool without his hammer. I don't think Hela was the strongest villain, but obviously the whole Ragnarok event with Surtur was foreshadowed heavily in Age of Ultron. I think it's a great movie. We got some awesome Loki moments. Uh, it's just a good all around product. We have uh, Thor versus Hulk, um, which was foreshadowed in the first Avengers movie. So we get that cool fight. We get the Taika Waititi, the director's character of Korg in the movie, and Korg is hilarious. One of the funniest characters in the MCU, in my opinion. So yeah, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think so. This is all that's on the tier list. I know there are also other Marvel products like obviously the everything owned by Sony, so like Fantastic Four movies, other Spider-Man, X-Men stuff, and I might do a ranking or tier list of those very soon. But this is just the MCU stuff, so I guess this stuff is all owned by Disney. And as of right now, the I think the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is out. The for I guess the it's Falcon taking over as Captain America. I haven't seen that episode yet, so I can't really speak on it, and it's also not on this list. This list is only up till WandaVision, so I don't really know how that will be. I am excited to watch that. I'm definitely going to check it out. Probably right after recording this, actually. Um, but yeah, I think I definitely enjoyed doing this more freeform video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This wasn't too analytical, but more of just a fun, relaxing video. You could just pop on while you're doing something else, playing a video game, driving. Just hearing someone talk about Marvel, one of the most beloved franchises that has taken over the globe. So yeah, I mean, if you like this kind of thing, or you just like the other stuff I do, anime, philosophy content, please subscribe, comment, share on social media, and of course also hit the the bell icon for notifications of future uploads. This has been Arcmoon. See you later.